Did Crawford just admit to being a weight bully? Well, Terence Crawford may have just seemingly invalidated one of the biggest concerns most of his doubters have going into his fight with Canelo Alvarez. However, by doing so, his response may also have given his critics ammunition in terms of their accusation that Terence Crawford has been weight bullying all throughout his career. Now, in a recent interview with Ring Magazine, Crawford spoke about multiple things in relation to his upcoming fight with Canelo. But there was this one part of the interview that had people raising their eyebrows. So Crawford was asked about his power and how fighting at 168 would play into this fight, especially considering how dominant he was at 147. Crawford responded with, and I quote, "To make 135 or 140, I was cutting muscle. I wasn't supposed to be at 135. That's why I wasn't at 140 that long, because I was at 135 for too long. Being that I don't have to cut muscle, and I don't have to cut a lot of weight, and I can just focus on the things I need to focus on, I think that's gonna make me a better fighter." Now, when Crawford pointed that for his upcoming fight with Canelo, that he won't be cutting a lot of weight, with the emphasis on the key phrase, a lot of weight, critics are reading into this saying that this statement only proves that Crawford has been drastically cutting weight only to rehydrate immensely during fight night in order to be the naturally bigger fighter. Now, in a separate interview, this time with Piers Morgan, Crawford was asked somewhat of a similar question, in which he responded that going up in weight isn't necessarily a major concern and that he really doesn't need to do a lot to be at this weight. So Piers Morgan asked, and I quote, "For you as a finely tuned athlete who's been at a certain weight, to get to that weight, that's a big leap for you. Does that not concern you?" Well, Crawford responded, and I quote, "No, not at all. As fighters, we carry a lot of weight anyway. I'll just be fighting at my natural weight." The size and weight debate was also thrown out the window by Crawford's trainer when he mentioned after yesterday's press event that fans won't see any difference come fight night, and that the argument should focus more on the skills rather than the size. Because in his own words, this whole size difference is already well overplayed. Now, disregarding Canelo and Crawford's normal walk weight and the fact that both men are technically the same size in terms of all the measurements concerned, the argument shifts into focusing on the question of, could and should have Terence Crawford move up in weight a long time ago? If so, considering the fact that Canelo even competed as far as light heavyweight, does this mean that Canelo's experience with bigger fighters puts him at a major advantage? Now, I'm not questioning nor am I invalidating Crawford's accomplishments. I mean, I truly believe that Crawford is a great fighter, no doubt. And on top of that, he seems like a good person too. So it's not like I'm hating. However, once again, the argument now being discussed is that if Crawford followed the same route as Canelo, wherein he was actively moving up in weight, would he be able to achieve everything that he has accomplished? Well, that's the question I have for you folks, and with that being said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Also, if you folks want to see the two interviews in which this video subject was based upon, those are available on Ring Magazine's official YouTube channel. Anyway, thank you so much for watching.